on draft day. Y'all freaked out. When the Falcons desperately needed, and they did need an edge rusher, but it wasn't a very good defensive draft, and instead they took a quarterback. And they had Kirk Cousins, and they drafted Michael Penix, and the world lost their you-know-what. Well, yesterday, the Falcons traded for third-round pick for Matthew Judon. Good, not superstar, but good edge rusher for the Patriots. So the Falcons got lit because they took a franchise quarterback. He'll sit for a year, maybe, franchise quarterback, over addressing an edge rusher. It was the right move. I said it then, and I'll say it now. You can find edge rushers. The Rams found Von Miller, then let him go. Got a trophy. The Eagles went and got Bryce Huff from the Jets. Lost Hassan Reddick, found Bryce Huff from the Jets. You can find edge rushers. Free agency. You can find them late in the draft. You can find them at the trade deadline. You know what you can't find at the trade deadline? Michael Penix. You can't find Michael Penix at the trade deadline. No, C.J. Stroud. Nobody's giving up a face of a franchise quarterback early in his career, inexpensive, and probably the future of the franchise. That you can't find. Even first-round quarterbacks are a 50-50 hit. It's the hardest position in the league to get right. Edge rushers are available. I mean, go back to this past March, a prime example. So this past March, it was free agency. And edge rushers are just a cost issue. They're always available. Are you willing to pay for them? Quarterbacks, young star quarterbacks, that's a scarcity issue. There's like one delivered a year. 5 are drafted in the first round. 1 becomes a star. That's a scarcity issue. Edge rushers, it's a cost issue. So I just looked it up this morning. In March, these free agents were all available, edge rushers. Josh Allen, Chase Young, Brian Burns, Daniil Hunter, Jonathan Grenard. They were all in the market. Matthew Judon wasn't, but now the Falcons just traded for him. By the trade deadline, somebody's going to be moving off an expensive edge rusher. Khalil Mack, by the way. Maybe Bosa. Are the Chargers going to keep both of those edge rushers? What if they need a pop at wide receiver? They can move one. They're getting a bit of a rush, a surplus of pass rush, an inefficiency, or a lack of production at wide receiver. You may have Khalil Mack available. So there is an order of operation in the NFL. Number 1, get your franchise quarterback. Number 2, everything else. That is the order of operation. Get the quarterback. So the fact that Atlanta has an old one and a young one. Okay. I mean, J.J. McCarthy's already out for the year. We already have a quarterback. We haven't really moved into the beef of the exhibition schedule yet. Minnesota's already down 1. Surplus of quarterbacks. There is a order to how this whole thing works.
Okay. So I really want to talk about this because I don't think it's fair to call out Atlanta Falcon fans for being upset, because it does seem that the Falcons were split in terms of the fans, in terms of, was it a good idea to draft Penix? You have Cousins, you need an edge rusher, you need other things, pieces. And this is why I think this happened, because the Falcons, the fans now I'm talking about, were being fed that they're making moves, that they are turning the page, that they actually have a good team, but they're a quarterback away. Let's go out and get Kirk Cousins. And if we bring Kirk Cousins in, we make a few changes at coaching, this team can win. Falcons have been struggling for years, have quite frankly been irrelevant for years now. That's done. Let's go. We got a legitimate, established quarterback. We're going to be able to do it now with this team, with this roster, with these new coaches. It's time to go. Let's go. And now, if you're really going all in on this season, then you need to make a few other choices. He referenced the Rams. The Rams got Stafford. They went out and won the Super Bowl. But make no mistake about it, they went out and got OBJ. They went out and got Von Miller. They needed to do a few extra things to get them over that hump and win the Super Bowl. They don't win the Super Bowl without those extra ads. Tom Brady doesn't win a Super Bowl without adding AB, without adding Gronk. They needed to do a few extra things, whereas getting another quarterback wasn't going to be enough, right? It wouldn't have been enough for the Rams or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if they went out and got another quarterback. Doesn't make sense, obviously. So I think that's what happens. You sell the fans on this idea. This season's going to be for real. We got a quarterback who's legit. Yes, he's not an all-time great, but he is clearly a good quarterback in the NFL. He clearly knows how to execute an offense and can win some games and not going to constantly put your team at a deficit. And honestly, more often than not, will be the better quarterback in the game. And so you're excited about that. So now you're just like, okay, we just need a little piece over here, a little piece over there. Let's go. We're going to pick that up in the draft. Let's go. And then they go out and get Penix, which was then jarring for a lot of Atlanta Falcons fans. You definitely had Falcons fans that were more than excited, which I'll address in a second to them. But now it's kind of like, well, wait a second. You just told me that paying for Kirk Cousins is a good move. You just told me that we're a quarterback away. Why don't we want to beef up our team a little bit more to really ensure that we get over this, that we can finally, start winning again? We can win this division. We can win some playoff games. Why can't we fight for a Super Bowl? It worked for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It worked for the LA Rams. Why not us? The year before, the Eagles in 21 were nothing. They were struggling. They limped into the playoffs and then got rocked by the Buccaneers. And then the next year, they were in the Super Bowl. Why can't that be us? What are you doing? Why are you planning for the future? We care about today right now. And the beauty of what the Falcons did is they kind of did both. They did both. They're signaling, we care about the future, but we also care about today. We are going to do everything we can to start to win right now, to actually fight for the division, to fight for the NFC, fight for a Super Bowl. We do believe Kirk Cousins. We do believe in this roster. We do believe in the coaching that we got. But we also do want to plan for the future. We had an opportunity to get Penix, who we think is a franchise quarterback, who will elevate this team even more than Kirk Cousins. Maybe not today, but certainly tomorrow. And by the way, we're still not done. We're going to make some more moves this offseason. That's kind of the beauty of what the Falcons are doing. They're just doing both things at once, which is rare, quite frankly. And honestly, people saw that the Rams had to mortgage their future to be able to get to where they are. But luckily, they have Sean McVay to be able to kind of make up for any of those deficits. They did look like that they were going to go downhill for the next couple of years. But again, they were very fortunate with a few of their draft picks that they hit. People like Puka Nacua. Sean McVay is unbelievable. Stafford is still able to sling it. That really helped them. We saw that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were going to kind of crash into irrelevancy. They were fortunate enough to be able to get Baker Mayfield. I don't think the Buccaneers are really that good of a team. I think their last season success is overblown significantly. But they've still been able to kind of somewhat hold on from, getting Tom Brady and winning that Super Bowl, but not really. Who really believes that Baker Mayfield is going to be the next quarterback for the Bucs after Tom Brady to actually start to have you compete for Super Bowls? I don't believe that. So the Falcons are in the position where they're like, yo, we can win right now. In fact, we're going to win this division because Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback right now in that division. And we are going to fight for in the playoffs. We are going to fight for an NFC championship. And then when it's time to really take that next step, if Kirk Cousins doesn't get it, we got our franchise quarterback in Penix. Let's go. And that's exciting. That's exciting. It's nice to know that you're taking care of your present and your future. Not all teams can do that. Some teams, the way how they're just constructed at that time, it's like, you know what? We got to just go all in right now. That is the best. We can't worry about, 1, 2, 3 years from now because of the way how certain contracts, age, whatever it may be. We got to just go all in right now. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And sometimes that's the correct, way. Sometimes it is punting the present and just saying, you know what, the way how this team is constructed, age, coaching, etc., we're not going to win today. And you know what? We're probably not going to win tomorrow. But if we play our cards right, we draft appropriately, we lock down that quarterback in 2 years, 3 years, we're going to have the next 5 years after that, which again is hard from a fan perspective because you just want to be competitive today. The Falcons managed to do both at the same time to set themselves up for today and tomorrow. And how could you possibly be mad about that? You can't. You can't. It's a sign of a highly run franchise if it pays off. We'll see. We'll see how it all unfolds. If it unfolds, you'll look back and say, those were some smart moves. The Falcons know what they're doing. They're returning back to higher levels of greatness. Again, whether that pans out or not, we will see. But I definitely have the Falcons winning this division. I really like what they're doing. And I'm really excited to see how it all unfolds. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Falcons and kind of the moves that they're making in terms of the future, the present? Do you think that they're actually going to be competitive this year? Can they actually win the division? Can they fight in the playoffs? Can they even win the NFC or even get to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.